Secondly, unlike for humans,
But I play football though. What are you gonna do to the gorilla? Like, you're not, bro. I'm not convinced, bro. And today we got 100 people versus a gorilla, the honest truth. Now, let me give my unwanted opinion on this really quickly. I was all for humanity when I was talking about the man versus dog thing. Because personally, I still believe there is no dog on this planet that could kill me. However, when it comes to a freaking gorilla, that's different. Now, do I think 100 dedicated men could kill a gorilla? Of course. Of course. Take 100 Spartan warriors without their weapons, they're killing that gorilla because they don't care about death. Now, if I think it's me and a 99 average Joes, I don't think so. Because I'm not on the front lines. I'm not willing to die for this. I'm not willing to die for this. And off the basis of that, I'm personally not winning because I don't, with the man versus dog thing, it's like full confidence in yourself. I believe I could kill a dog. I do not believe I could kill a gorilla. Now, I do think it's possible, but I'm definitely not as gung-ho on this one. So I'm willing to be swayed to either side, to be honest. Numbers over strength every time? For sure, for sure, for sure. However, I personally don't know. I have no gauge of what 100 people look like. I have no gauge of like how dedicated the 100 people are. I can't confidently give an answer to, is it bare hands? Of course it's bare hands. I can't confidently give an answer. I cannot. So we're going to watch this video and then we're going to see what it says, but you already know the vibes. 1 curse, 3 push-ups. Be sure to check out my other reaction channels. Be sure to check out the channel with Stanley. That being said, let's get this going.
so recently, all of social media has been blowing up with the debate of 1 gorilla versus 100 humans. The funny
Everybody just got to be dedicated. I agree with that concept though. I agree with that concept. Is it possible? I don't know.
thing is that everyone seems completely divided onto who would win the fight. One side thinks that the gorilla would pull a Winston and just completely thrash the army of humans with ease, while the other side believes that the sheer numbers would let the humans just beat up the gorilla like it's Naruto. But who is actually correct? Is a gorilla versus 100 people actually a fair fight, or is it actually a stomp? Does the gorilla win, or do the humans? Let's find out. If you like this kind of stuff, make sure to like, subscribe, and let's jump right in. Now, to begin, I think it's important to establish both sides of this. For the gorilla, we are assuming that this is essentially the strongest gorilla possible.
Oh my, I don't know. I'm leaning towards no.
Of the 4 gorilla species, easily the largest and strongest would be a silverback eastern lowland gorilla. At the absolute largest, gorillas can stand at over 6 feet tall and weigh between 400 and 5.
Wait, am I tall? I'm taller than a gorilla? On average? So average. It's also 100 average sized men too though. I don't know, bruh. I don't know, bruh.
500 pounds, with the largest ever being about 600 pounds or even beyond. However, this fails to capture how a gorilla's overall proportions drastically exceed that of a normal human.
Oh no, but they're stocky, bro.
With a wingspan of over 8 feet, drastically more muscle mass, and far less body fat. In comparison to the peak gorilla, the group of humans will be made up of 100 average people.
I don't know if 100 average people, bro. I don't know if 100 average people got it, bro.
There will be no boxers.
I'll be so tight. I'll be so tight if I saw someone who was 5'5", 105 pounds and one of them 100 men, bro. I'll be so blown.
Nor MMA fighters or athletes, and instead it will just be 100
Bro, someone on my team works IT. I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about
totally normal people with totally normal physical stats, with there being an equal number of men and
like, bro, this dude is on my team, bro. I don't know. I'm not convinced, bro.
Women. Now, technically, average height and weight varies somewhat drastically across the planet, so for this video, we'll be taking the stats from just Americans when possible. This means the 50 men in the group will be on average 5'9" and almost 200 pounds, while the 50 women in the group will be on average
Wait, there's 50 men and 50 women? There's 50 men and 50 women? Oh, we're cooked! Are you serious?
5'4" and 170 pounds. Now, to be fair, Americans are kind of fat, so ultimately using the statistics of a healthier nation doesn't change these values very much, or the
I'll be so blown if I'm the biggest person on my team, bro. You telling me there's no... I'll be so blown if I'm the biggest person on my team, bro. See, this is not helping the case, bro. 100 Spartan warriors, that's different. 100 M'Bakus, That's different. 100 Steves? No. No. No.
The outcome, in my opinion. Still, either way, the gorilla is going to be far larger than any single human, exceeding them in height by a couple inches and being casually twice the weight of the average man. Also, just so we're all on the same page, this is what 100 people looks like. It's now
Gang, I'm not, bro, this would be me with my group. This would literally be me with my group. I'm getting washed. I'm getting cooked. Yo, I think I can help. I'm 6'2" at the age of 15. You're 15! Holy. I have 50 cashiers and a 15-year-old on my team. I'm washed. I'm cooked.
definitely not a
Yo could be the gorilla for real. I think I could beat them up. I think I'm winning this fight.
small group, but it's also not a massive crowd by any means. A lot of college lectures have more people than this in them. With that being understood, who wins this?
I think the gorilla got it,
Determining the true strength of a gorilla is incredibly difficult for multiple reasons. Firstly, gorillas ultimately are not a predatory species, so in comparison to
I'm 5'11" and a hard worker. I'll carry. The only thing you need to carry is a green card, Mango.
something like a bear, a wolf, or any of the big cats, they rarely, if ever, go out of their way to attack humans. Secondly, unlike for humans,
But I play football, though. What are you going to do to the gorilla? Like, you're not... Bro, I'm not convinced, bro.
that will willingly do experiments to test the limits of human strength, doing the exact same thing is almost impossible for gorillas because they're not just going to do a bench press for a couple of bananas, unfortunately. This forces most, if any, estimations of gorilla strength to be just that, estimations based off of their bodies and the very rare instances of strength that we have seen from them. Thirdly, there is a lot of hearsay and misinformation regarding gorillas, with most online sources claiming completely different stats for what gorillas are actually capable of. Finally, a lot of info about gorillas that does exist is oftentimes really old. The biggest issue, though, is that inconsistent information. For example, one website says they can lift 1,800 pounds, while another claims they can lift more than twice that at 4,000 pounds. Things get even more wild when these resources put it in terms of humans. Some claim that a gorilla is 8 times stronger than an average man. Another
It has to be more than 8.
claims that they are 4 to 10 times stronger than a human.
Y'all making me feed into it.
Another source claims 12 times, with another claiming that gorillas are a whopping 20 times stronger than a human.
You're a fake. Bro, I've never claimed to be Hispanic. Y'all are pushing it on me more than... I've always known that I'm 25%. I've never claimed it, though. Y'all are pushing it on me.
Clearly, the only consistent thing agreed on here is that gorillas are stronger than humans, but this much
I don't claim it out of respect for y'all. What?
variation in number between sources is enough to say that
You said you were Hispanic because you're granny. Yes. Stanley found that out and ran to the Twitch universe and told everyone. You're embarrassed? I'm not embarrassed. It's like, I don't know anything about it, though. So, like, why would I claim it? That's like a white woman being, like, 12% black and saying the N-word. Like, I don't think she should do that. She's white. You know what I'm saying? Like, ethnicity-wise, I'm with y'all. But culture-wise, I know nothing about y'all.
these numbers are completely made up or very unsubstantiated. So let's look to what actual researchers have said about gorillas, or what we have actually seen them do in real life. Consistently, gorillas have been seen uprooting thin banana trees, shattering protective glass, and have broken human arms in brief attacks. Smaller and weaker primates like chimpanzees have shown feats of strength 2 to 3 times
Bro, yeah, chimpanzees are stronger than us, too.
stronger than that of a normal human, around 800 to 1,200 pounds. Given that chimps are less than a quarter of the weight of a gorilla, suddenly the 4,000 pound claims look slightly more valid and would approximately make them 8 to 10 times stronger than a human being lifting wise, though strength and weight don't exactly work like that in a 1-to-1 ratio, clearly. Looking back to older information, the statements get harder to verify, but could also be potentially more legitimate, as these were real interactions in the wild. We have accounts from 19th century explorer Paul Chalu recounting gorillas snapping and bending metal guns with their bare hands, or even an older account from explorer Andrew Patel that recounts that 10 people were unable to pin a gorilla down.
10, and that's 10% of the group, bro.
Finally, we have more speculative calculations around things like gorilla bite force and punching strength, which is incredibly difficult to calculate.
I'm not even worried about the gorilla biting or anything. I'm worried about them flailing their arms around and completely impaling you with the sheer strength of their fists. And I'm saying, with 100 people, being able to spin around like this helps. That helps. And gorillas are some of the few animals that can stand on 2 feet and balance, bro. I just don't think more than 30, because to beat a gorilla, I think you need at least 50 people actively contacting the gorilla at the same time. But if he, like, that's at least 30 people. That's at least 30 people, bro. I don't know.
Calculate without, having the gorilla punch something that actually measures the force. Still, even the most lowball calculations put the gorilla's strength at around 881 joules of force, with the highest being 3,660 joules of force. In comparison, humans output only about 74 joules with their punches, which would make the potential difference in punch power anywhere from around,
mind you, humans get knocked out by other humans.
10 to 50.
So no one is tanking any hit from a gorilla, bro.
Times. I don't think really speed is something we really need to talk about here. It isn't like other power scaling topics where either side is a blitz difference faster than the other or anything like that. Gorillas and humans are simply comparable in overall speed, with the gorilla being a bit faster in bursts of muscular power, though such speeds aren't exactly sustainable. So overall, gorillas are stronger, larger, heavier, and more powerful than multiple humans combined. Either way though, are the humans cooked? Let's get into it now.
The only thing the humans have is strategy, but it's just not like, once again, if the stats of the humans are high enough, I'm with it. Like, once again, 100 Spartan warriors, shoot, 100 Samoans, that's a little different. But 100 average Joes from America, I'm not convinced.
In a 1v1, 2v1, or even 10v1, I think the gorilla could pretty easily take it. From everything we've seen, from historical accounts to estimations, a gorilla may legitimately be around 10 times the strength of average humans, making all of these random articles potentially correct even if they were just yapping. Single strikes and bites from a gorilla is going
It's just up. It's up. It's up.
To be breaking bones of whoever is unlucky enough to be in range. As they tend to do, they can also easily grab, lift, and pull around any human they man.
Bro, let them take someone, grab them by the legs, and start using them. That boy like nunchucks. It's up. It's up.
Just to grab. Furthermore, most attacks from a human are simply not going to legitimately harm a gorilla. The difference in the basic lifting and punching power being so immense that the person punching the gorilla would probably hurt their hands more than the gorilla's body. But as the number of humans increases towards 100, things get worse and worse for the gorilla for multiple reasons. Firstly, fatigue. Gorillas.
Yeah, Stanley had a strat where, like, if you literally just avoid the gorilla for like an hour or so, like just surround the gorilla, provoke him, and run away, you can fatigue him and get him to a point where you can beat him. I'm not mad at that concept. I'm really not. That's why I'm so torn. I really don't know. Like, I really don't know. All you had to do was snap his neck, bro. His neck is like this wide. Jay, you couldn't even snap a pencil this wide. You could. What are you talking? How are you gonna snap that? How can you do that? What do you mean snap its neck?
Are not used to, nor are they really built for long, drawn-out fights.
At all.
Most conflicts between gorillas only last a couple minutes at most, which is actually true for most humans as well. But while the gorilla might tear through 20, 30, 40 people, boom, there are still 60
more
humans the gorilla has to beat in order to win. Secondly, in this fight, strategy and coordination genuinely matter. For this,
I will say, if there is a very prominent leader at the front of the group, that's different. Like if if 5 members of the group are like on some Shikamaru, Irwin, goddamn, Madara, goddamn, who else is like a good leader? Kakashi, Jiraiya. Like if it's 5 people who have the leading ability of them, a little different. Like, ooh, wait, 5 generals, each with 10-man platoons. I don't know, bro. Disperse the people evenly with whatever the heck. That's a little different.
Fight to even happen, we kind of need to ignore the concept of fear for both sides. If a gorilla saw a group of 100 humans, they are very likely not going to attack and just run away. On the other side, if most people saw a gorilla beating up a dude, they're not going to jump in and help out.
Exactly. That's why you need the generals. I'm not mad at the Wait a second. We have 5 platoons, right? 2 platoons are there to distract. 3 platoons are there to attack. Hold on. 1 platoon distracts. They get tired or they get cooked. the second platoon distracts. They like take turns, right? Until like both the platoons are cooked. At that point, that's when the 3 attack platoons. Wait, I'm not mad at that. If we're coordinate, you know what? I'm sold. I like that approach a lot. But the platoon leaders have to be on timing, bro. Because you have to be able to convince someone that just saw a man get ripped in half to continue to fight. But if that's done, I think it's doable.
They're also running away. With that being said, if both sides legitimately want to beat the other with
Optimus Prime, yeah. We need someone with some Optimus Prime energy too.
full conviction and no other.
Well, yeah, Erwin, Optimus Prime, Kakashi. Who else do we need, bro? Erwin, Optimus Prime, Kakashi. Like, give me 2 more. Shikamaru, yeah. 1 more. All Might. I'm not mad at that. I'm really not mad at that.
Options, 100 people can pretty quickly coordinate to absolutely bum rush on the gorilla, who simply would not be able to attack every person at once, even 20 people at once. Which brings up the third thing, weight. For as strong as a gorilla is, especially a potentially tired gorilla, is simply not strong enough to hold off the weight of a coordinated group of humans. At the mid-end estimation of 1,800 pounds, even just 20 200-pound humans would be able to pin down a gorilla, with the only claim to the contrary being from a guy born in the 1500s. Would people get hurt and probably be killed in this effort to pin him down? But again, there are 50 dudes all prepared to do this, let alone the 50 women.
Shoot, Bardock. Yo, throw Bardock in that hole. What? Throw him in that jaunt too, bruh.
But pinning isn't enough. The gorilla would need to be defeated, and even without tools, humans should be able to actually hurt gorillas. While human punches are far weaker than the apes,
yeah, we can like
human kicks are overall far stronger. It can range from over 3,000 to over 4,000 joules, which is actually stronger than gorilla punches from a pure energy output standpoint, as crazy as that sounds. So while yes, 1 guy randomly kicking a gorilla would probably do nothing, several dozen people,
a bunch, yeah,
all kicking at a gorilla's head while he's already pinned down would eventually take him out. So yes, 100 humans could beat a gorilla if gorillas were truly a threat.
But if we're going stat-wise, I think it's definitely a I give it a 60-40 split. To
literally 100 humans at a time, there would be far more stories of gorillas actually, you know, killing humans, while we have stories like this for elephants or bears. So bottom line is this: humans most
we're dogging this gorilla though, this tiny ass gorilla
likely win, but you don't want to be at the front of the crowd when you're staring down a silverback. If you made it this far, thank you so much.
Bro, I think the platoon idea is good. I think if the humans can coordinate and separate into platoons, and once again 2 platoons, or maybe even like, it doesn't even have to be 5 platoons, just a couple of platoons with solid leaders, and 1 platoon, if 1 platoon's goal is to distract while the majority of the other platoon's goal is to attack, I think it's doable. I wasn't convinced, but now I'm kind of convinced. But hey man, that's gonna be the video. I hope you guys liked it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. That's gonna be it from me. Peace.